48 Best Alienation Quotes for Never Isolating Yourself. Alienation is the feeling of being separated or isolated. If you are feeling isolated, you can read the collection of best inspirational alienation quotes. Alienation in social science is a state of feeling isolated. This can be from an environment, a task, the products of the work, or oneself. According to the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, it is a specific type of psychological or social disease. The person who is affected by this always feels lonely whether there is a friend, family, or any close person with him. If you are in this situation, then you can read the collection of best alienation quotes. It will help you to stay with your society and will motivate you to find different ideas which can help you to stay connected with everyone. Apart from these alienation thoughts, you can also read our other motivational quotes on an amazing life, healing toxic thoughts, amusement, small thoughts for work and success, and arrogance quotes. Let's read the collection of the best inspiring alienation quotes. 1. A lone walker is both present and detached, more than an audience but less than a participant. Walking assuages or legitimizes this alienation. Rebecca Solnit. 2. Alienation as our present destiny is achieved only by outrageous violence perpetrated by human beings on human beings. R. D. Lang. 3. Alienation is the outsider's way of fitting in. Marty Rubin. 4. Alienation manifested by speechlessness culminates after a man reaches the acme of frustration. Harmik Vaishnav. 5. Alienation, I suppose, can't be hackneyed because it will always exist. Mike Birbiglia. 6. All this sea of humanity reassured me that as alien as I felt, there were always others in the world far odder than I. Richard C. Murray. 7. Amusement always means putting things out of mind, forgetting suffering, even when it is on display. At its root is powerlessness. Theodore Adorno et al. 8. Anytime you're telling a story about the monsterhood, you're playing around with ideas about otherness and alienation. Liv Hewson. 9. Behind the masks of total choice, different forms of the same alienation confront each other. Guy Debord. 10. Capital is dead labor, which, vampire-like, lives only by sucking living labor, and lives the more labor it sucks. Karl Marx. 11. Disconnection or alienation from the past has political consequences. Mal Peet. 12. Everyone who lived in high-up, magical places must feel the same way. You come down into the world and you mingle, but all the while there's something calling you back. Arjum Hassan. 13. Family traditions counter alienation and confusion. They help us define who we are, they provide something steady, reliable, and safe in a confusing world. Susan Lieberman. 14. He was so terrible that he was no longer terrible, only dehumanized. F. Scott Fitzgerald. 15. His friends will decline in their numbers as his needs increase. The inverse, or perverse, mathematics I life. Irvine Welsh. 16. Humanity's self-alienation has reached such a degree that it can experience its own destruction as an aesthetic pleasure of the first order. Walter Benjamin. 17. I certainly feel sad about the alienation from my son. Harold Pinter. Best quotes about isolation and alienation. 18. I don't want to express alienation. It isn't what I feel. I'm interested in various kinds of passionate engagement. All my work says be serious, be passionate, wake up. Susan Sontag. 19. I feel sorry for anyone who is in a place where he feels strange and stupid. Lois Lowry. 20. I have been driven to the edge by parental alienation for many years now. You have to go through this to understand. Alec Baldwin. 21. I think the degree of alienation and despair is more universal. Terry Southern. 22. I want the world to recognize with me the open door of every consciousness. Frantz Fanon. 23. I want to be two people at once. One runs away. Peter Heller. 24. It's the way people look at you when they know you're damaged, but don't know how to react to knowing a thing like that. Razmina Massoud. 25. Marks of identity is, among other things, the expression of the process of alienation in a contemporary intellectual with respect to his own country. Juan Goytisolo. 26. Nothing is more alienating than being somewhere full of people and realizing, perhaps mid-conversation, that what they talk about belongs to a totally different plan of existence than the one in which you exist. Omar Sharif. 27. On top of the abuse and neglect, denial heaps more hurt upon the child by requiring the child to alienate herself from reality and her own experience. In troubled families, abuse and neglect are permitted, it's the talking about them that is forbidden. Marcia Sirota. 28. Social distancing is staying away from people, not from your purpose. Amit Kalantri. 29. The high is what you crave, what you would kill for, and believe me, you will lie to yourself until it's too late to stop. H. A. Lazar. 30. The more you get used to the calm of the harbor, the more alien the waves and realities of the sea become for you. Mehmet Murat Ilden. 31. The question of the stranger in a society which estranges everybody from it, while forcing everybody to assimilate their own alienation, takes cover under dubious and sinister masks. Norman Minea. Inspirational alienation quotes. 32. The sense of alienation that inspires wonder, awe, and fear in us is enough of a proof that life does not belong to the planet Earth. Raheel Farouk. 33. There is only one way left to escape the alienation of present-day society, to retreat ahead of it. Roland Barthes. 34. Thinking is a way of condemning oneself to solitude. Marty Rubin. 35. This society eliminates geographical distance only to produce a new internal separation. Guy Debord. 36. To a man utterly without a sense of belonging, mere life is all that matters. It is the only reality in an eternity of nothingness, and he clings to it with shameless despair. Eric Hoffer. 37. To forget the whole world is easy, to make the whole world forget you is hard. Zhuangzi. 38. We have to heal our wounded world. The chaos, despair, and senseless destruction we see today are a result of the alienation that people feel from each other and their environment. Michael Jackson. 39. We live in a time when there's an alienation factor. There's a certain disconnection. We don't have any real sense of community anymore. Alan Ball. 40. When our government is spoken of as some menacing, threatening foreign entity, it ignores the fact that, in our democracy, the government is us. Barack Obama. 41. When power is exercised exclusively at the center, the result is the rigidity of rules and alienation of the people subject to those rules. Charles Kennedy. 42. With her own hand she'd painted herself into a corner, and then out of the picture altogether. Jhumpa Lahiri. 43. Without alienation, there can be no politics. Arthur Miller. 44. You can always count on tears to tell you what's true. Carl Christian Flores. 45. You can't put abandonment and alienation under arrest. Carrie P. Meek. 46. You don't write a novel out of sheer pity, any more than you blow a safe out of a vague longing to be rich. A certain ruthlessness and a sense of alienation from society are as essential to creative writing as it is to armed robbery. Nelson Algren. 47. You want to know what's wrong with the world? Dad paused. It's this alienation that permeates every aspect of humanity. Mark David Henderson. 48. Young alienation, disappointment, and heartache are all a part of the first real growing up that we do. Judd Nelson.